forfeited his double portion. But instead he waited, he worshiped, he trusted, and in due time, God lifted him higher than he ever was before. You may be in a season of loss right now. You may feel like things have been stripped away. Opportunities, relationships, financial security, peace of mind. But I am here to tell you, this is not the end. This is preparation. Just because you have lost something does not mean God is finished with you. If anything, it means he is making room for more. He does not allow something to leave your life unless he has something greater in store. The question is, can you trust him in the process? Can you believe that your loss is not your limit? Can you hold on to the truth that God does not replace, he multiplies? If Job had only received back what he lost, it would have been a great testimony. But God wanted to show his nature, his abundance, his faithfulness, so he gave Job double. And he is the same God today. What he did for Job, he can do for you.
And sleep all the way down. All the way down.
If you want to manifest more success and abundance into your life, hypnosis is the...
Your loss is not the end of your story. It is the setup for your increase. Do not focus on what left. Focus on what is coming. Because when God restores, he always restores greater. One of the greatest mistakes we make in life is tying our destiny to what has left us. We look at what walked away, what was taken, what ended, and we convince ourselves that our best days were behind us. But let me tell you something powerful. Your destiny is not tied to what left. What God has planned for your life is never dependent on who or what chose to walk away. If they could leave, then they were never meant to stay. Too often we mourn what was instead of preparing for what is to come. We hold on to the past so tightly that we become blind to the future. But you cannot move forward while looking backward. You cannot step into your next season while clinging to the last one. God cannot fill your hands with new blessings if they are still holding on to old burdens. Look at Samuel. The prophet who anointed kings, the man God used to shape a nation, found himself mourning over Saul. God had given Saul the throne, but when Saul disobeyed, the throne was taken from him. Samuel grieved, he wept, he felt the loss deeply. But one day God spoke and said, "How long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him?" In other words, why are you still crying over what I have already moved on from? Some of us are like Samuel. We are crying over things God has already closed the door on. We are mourning relationships that were never meant to last. We are grieving opportunities that we thought were our future. But God is saying, if it was meant to stay, I would have kept it there. If it left, it was never part of your destiny. The problem is that we confuse attachment with purpose. Just because something was in your life for a season does not mean it was meant to be there forever. Some people come to teach you a lesson and then they leave. Some doors open to take you to the next level, but they are not the final destination. Do not mistake a stepping stone for a foundation. Think about Lot's wife. When God was rescuing her from destruction, he gave her one instruction: do not look back. But what did she do? She turned around. She could not let go of what was behind her. And in that moment, she lost her future. Her attachment to the past cost her everything. Some of us are turning back to what God is trying to pull us out of. We are longing for what was instead of trusting what will be. But the past has nothing new to offer you. If it was meant to be a part of your destiny, it would still be here. Look at Ruth. She lost her husband, but she refused to stay in the past. She moved forward. She positioned herself for what was next. And because she did, she walked into a blessing greater than anything she had lost. She became the great-grandmother of a king because she refused to let her past define her future. Who or what have you been holding on to that God has already released? What door are you trying to reopen that God has already shut? The past may have been good or it may have been painful, but either way it is gone. And as long as you keep looking back, you will never see what is ahead. God is not a God of the past. He is a God of the future. He is always moving forward. He is always making things new. What you have lost is not the end of your story. If he allowed it to leave, he has already prepared something greater. But you will never receive it if your heart is still tied to what was. Let it go. Trust him. Your destiny is ahead of you, not behind you. What is coming is greater than what has been. Do not let what left blind you to what God is bringing. Your future is waiting. Walk into it. One of the greatest challenges in life is leaving behind what is familiar. The human heart craves security, even if that security is keeping us bound. We hold on to what we know, even when it is limiting us. But hear me today. The familiar can be the greatest limitation to your destiny. What you refuse to let go of may be the very thing keeping you from stepping into what God has for you.